witches, welcome back to another video. Before we start, I just want to apologise for any background noise that you might be able to hear. Last week it was children playing, and this week someone has decided to mow their lawn. So in today's video we're going to be doing kind of a Q&A. I did put up on my Instagram story if anyone had any questions to be asked, but nobody actually answered. So I went through all of the comments on all of our videos and got the most commonly asked questions that people want to know the answers to. This way it also just saves me going through all of the comments and repeating myself on different comments. At least it's here and everyone can just kind of watch the video and get whatever information they need out of it. So I can't say who the question came from, but we'll find screenshots of the questions asked and put them on screen. So if I don't say out your username, please don't be offended. It's just that I didn't write them down on my book. So question one is, what do you do with the spell bottles once they're finished being used? So spell bottles, usually if they have worked or you've used them over time and you feel like they've lost their magical properties, you can empty out the contents of the bottle. It's usually pretty easy to just get a knife and cut the wax off, and you can also just pour like hot water over them and the wax will melt away, but don't put it down the drain because it blocks up your drain. In terms of the things inside the bottle, you can return them back to the earth by burying them, and then you can wash out the bottle just with water and soap and then cleanse it with a sage stick. Can you use scented candles for magic? Yes, you can. If anything, you can get certain specifically made witch candles off of Etsy and other witch shops for the colour of the candle and the scent of the candle to correspond with the spell that you are doing, if that makes any sense. So for example, you could get a rose scented red candle or pink candle for doing a love spell. And you can get sandalwood and, I don't know, black candle if you are doing a protection spell. But if you're just using candles around the house, you've just got around the house and you've just got a Yankee candle that happens to be the colour that you need, but it's peppermint flavoured, that's absolutely fine as well. It won't necessarily mess up your spell or anything. The whole thing is just to use what you've got. Where can you buy the bottles and the herbs? So the bottles that I used, I got off eBay, and it was a pack of 20 for $3.99. But you can also get a pack of 30 off of Amazon for about $8.99, and the prices range depending on how big and what shape you want the bottle. So it's kind of affordable, and it was also free postage, so it's always a plus. Question number 4 is probably the most asked question I get. My Instagram is WonderingWitch20. We have just changed the name to WonderingWitch20 just so it's a little bit easier for everyone else to find. So it's in the description and on the channel banner. So another commonly asked question is, how do you inscribe a candle? I can't demonstrate that with you right now, but what you do is you just literally take your candle and a sharp object, so maybe some scissors or a pin, or if you've got an athame, which is a type of ritual knife, you can also inscribe it with that. And inscribing just means that you're carving whatever you need to into the candle, so that might be a person's name or a sigil that you're using. I can do a follow-up video on this if you guys want. Spells in your native language. If English is not your first language, you can do spells in your native language because it's still exactly the same thing. It's, you know, just in something that you're more comfortable talking in. But if you do want to do your spells in English, that's absolutely fine as well. It's all down to what you prefer. So the crystal shops that I recommend are the Psychic Tree. They have loads and loads of different types of crystals at very affordable prices, and their delivery is quite quick. They do have a physical shop that you can go and you can buy herbs from them and everything. They don't just sell crystals, but they do also sell herbs and tools that you can use in your witchcraft journey. Another one is called the Witchcraft Shop Original, but I have been in their shop before. They're based in Glastonbury, and it is literally just a shop absolutely heaving with crystals. It is beautiful. I love it, and I have just found out that they do have an online shop as well, so I'll leave a link to both these shops in the description down below. Other good places to get crystals from is from Etsy and other small witchy shops. Try and stay local and help out. I did get this one, I can't remember the name of the crystal, but again I will leave it somewhere on screen. But this was off of Etsy. It came really quickly, it came beautifully packaged, and the person that I bought it off of was very, very friendly. So I will also leave a link to her shop down below. Can spells be done on other people? Yes, to an extent. So you can, say you wanted to do a healing spell or a nightmare spell or a sleeping spell or something along those lines on someone else, as long as you had permission from that other person to do a spell on them, then yes, you can. So instead of having it in first person, you would have they, them, and say their name in the spell. But in terms of doing spells on someone who doesn't know that you're doing a spell on them, that is going against their free will. So you don't want to do a love spell on someone because that person might not want to fall in love with you. As harsh as that might sound, it is, you can't force someone to love you, which is sad, but you just can't do that to people. And it also does come into the rule of 3, so it's pretty much just instant karma, and any spell or hex that you put on someone will bounce back to you, and you will have whatever you casted on that person 3 times worse. So long story short, if it's with their permission, yes, absolutely, go for it. If it's not with their permission, then I do not recommend it. Can I say spells in my mind? You can say these, the incantation out loud if you want to, but you are more than welcome to say it in your head. That's absolutely fine. It doesn't change your spell that much. It might be a little bit more powerful if you do say it out loud, but if you're around people who you don't want to know you're doing a spell, then in your head is absolutely fine. I do quite often do it myself. Can I use wax melts instead of candles? Yep, as long as it's wax and as long as it melts the same as candles in terms of sealing a spell jar or something like that, then yep, that's absolutely fine. Can I use any type of jar? Yes. Yeah. In fact, I actually encourage using any jar you can find, no matter how big or small it is, because that way you are also recycling and reusing that jar. I have a spell jar that is made out of a pickle jar. I just cleaned it out, and I also have jars from like korma sauce and everything like that, just washed out and with the label taken off. Doesn't have to be fancy and have a corkscrew. You could use a mayonnaise jar if you wanted to. As long as it's clean, use anything you can find. And they don't also have to be glass, they can be plastic. I'm not a witch, but can I do spells? You don't necessarily have to be a witch to do spells. As long as you do your research, this goes to anyone, as long as you do your research and you are comfortable with what you're doing and you don't do anything stupid like hex someone or do a very complicated spell and you know somewhat what you're doing, I would say, yeah, you could try a little candle spell and everything like that, but just make sure you have done research into everything. Just be careful, basically. It's not something to be messed around with. Can anyone become a witch? Absolutely, yeah. It doesn't matter where you come from, who you are, what your gender is, it doesn't matter at all. Anyone can become a witch if you want to. If you do find that you want to become a witch and you need more help, but you're not comfortable bringing it up to your parents or your family members for whatever reasons, maybe they're quite strict on the whole witchcraft opinion and whatnot, then there are plenty of forums and the community will always help you and, you know, pick you up and look after you. So if you ever needed anyone to talk to, you are more than welcome to give me a message, or anyone in the witch community will be probably more than happy to help you. Can you be more than one type of witch? I think you can, yes, because I am a green witch, but I also think I am a chaotic witch. I only say that because none of my stuff matches up. I will do spells last minute and I'll be like, ah, bugger, it's was very British. I will do spells last minute and forget that there's a full moon, or like I'll want to do a full moon spell that missed the moon, so I'll have to wait another like 28 days before the next one. So yeah, I'm a green chaotic witch, but you can absolutely be a kitchen witch and an electric witch both at the same time. You can be all of them if you want to. You don't have to stick to one category. And last but not least is, can you be a male witch? Absolutely. Witch is not a female or a specific gendered term. Witch just means what you do. Doesn't have a gender. If you do prefer to be under male pronouns, you can call yourself a warlock, which is the same as a witch, but witch covers all as well. So there you go. So that's all the questions that I have got. If any of you do have any more questions, please feel free to leave them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. In terms of the end date for the giveaway, it will be Friday the 30th of April. So you have until then to go over to that video, make sure you're subscribed and comment on the video how you found our channel. I'll leave a little iCard link to the video above. So that's all we've got time for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it cleared up any queries that you guys have, and thank you for watching. As always, stay safe, stay witchy. Bye!